I'm Rainis.
Hi, I'm Juan.
And welcome to the Arthrokinematics Learning app. In this video, we'll introduce you to the core concepts of Kaltenborn, including roll and glide and grades of mobilization.
These are the key principles you need to understand before moving on to the joint-specific techniques in the rest of the app. Let's get started.
Let's start with one of the fundamental arthrokinematic movements, the roll. Roll is when new points on one joint surface come into contact with new points on the other surface. The roll always happens in the same direction as the bone's movement. In the diagram, the red arrows show the direction of the roll. This movement helps maintain the natural fit between joint surfaces as the bone moves. The second key movement is the glide. In a glide, the same point on a moving joint surface stays in contact while it meets new points on the opposite surface. When a convex surface moves on a concave surface, the glide occurs in the opposite direction to the bone's movement. When a concave surface moves on a convex surface, the glide is in the same direction as the bone's movement. In the diagram, the orange arrow shows the direction of the glide. Glide allows the joint to move smoothly without jamming or pinching. The relationship between roll and glide is explained by the convex-concave rule. When a convex surface moves on a concave surface, roll and glide occur in opposite directions, shown here by the red arrows for roll and the orange arrows for glide. For example, during shoulder abduction, the humeral head rolls upward but glides downward on a glenoid. When a concave surface moves on a convex surface, roll and glide occur in the same direction, again red for roll and orange for glide. For example, during knee extension, the tibia both rolls and glides forward on the femur. Here again we can see both patterns in action. In shoulder abduction, the red arrow shows the roll upward, and the orange arrow shows the glide downward. In knee extension, both the red and orange arrows point downward, showing that the roll and glide happen in the same direction. Kaltenborn has also described 3 grades of sustained mobilization. Grade 1, or loosen, applies gentle traction to relieve pain and unload the joint surfaces. Grade 2, or tighten, takes up the slack in the tissues to reduce pain and assess joint play. Grade 3, or stretch, applies sustained force at end range to improve joint mobility by stretching the capsule. In the visuals, you can see each grade demonstrated to match its description. Now that we've covered the theory, let's look at how roll, glide, and mobilization grades are applied in practice. The shoulder is placed in the loose packed position. The support hand holds above the elbow at the distal humerus. The gliding hand palpates the acromion and then moves distally to the glenohumeral joint line and is placed over it. A downward glide is applied with the gliding hand while the support hand abducts the arm, producing the roll and glide at the shoulder joint. The subject is positioned in prone position with the knees slightly over the edge of the bed. The gliding hand is placed on the posterior aspect of the tibia, as close to the joint line as possible. The support hand holds the tibia just above the ankle to control the leg. An anterior glide is applied to the tibia, while the support hand simultaneously moves the knee into extension, creating the correct roll and glide at the joint. To demonstrate the grades of mobilization, we will perform traction. The shoulder is positioned in the maximally loose packed position. The moving hand is placed under the shoulder, as close to the joint as possible. The traction can be applied as a grade 1, 2, or 3, depending on the desired treatment effect.
So, to summarize, roll and glide directions depend on the type of joint surfaces you are mobilizing, and the grade of mobilization depends on whether your goal is pain relief or increased mobility of the joint.
After this video, you can test your understanding with a short quiz. Good luck and enjoy learning.